What an extraordinary week it's been on the political front. There's been so much happening with how many days to the election now? Somewhere in the 43 days to go to the general election. The NASA and Jubilee teams have been combing different parts of the country. Let's discuss all of that now with Professor Macharia Munene, who's back with us, the political commentator, as well as Joshua Kiptoo. Do you play baseball?
Nope, but I'm a fan.
You're just a fan, hence the baseball jacket. We get it.
Sure.
Okay, great. We started the broadcast today with some last-minute goodies, especially from Jubilee. There was the hospital, the ultra-modern hospital in Kaimosi, Vihiga County, and NASA is also in Vihiga, in Busia. Jubilee was in that part of the county just, I believe, 14 or 13 days ago. So there's a lot of attention being paid to Western.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because the Western votes are up for grabs.
Are they?
Yes. There is a myth that they are all ODM.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true that ODM has a big pull. I'll give it 60%. But there is also this feeling that those votes are there. They are not locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And because both sides know that they are not locked up, they are all running there to make their case that they should be the ones to be considered seriously.
So they're hoping that if you make a strong enough case,
you are going to get something.
You'll get something.
You get something. So for the president, looking presidential, so great development. Yeah, it's a development. You can see modern hospital for the people who get sick. At least get some. You don't have to go to India. But when you can get this kind of thing, what do you need? You need. There is a university that needs to have a teaching hospital. So I think you can accommodate that.
All right.
Few things like that. So it was, you can see, although it was not supposed to be campaign, the timing is not bad.
Eugene Wamalwa still did talk about the campaign, but that's a different story we'll get to in a moment. Yeah. Is 60%, NASA 60% of the votes in Western? Joshua, do you agree?
Not at all. I don't agree because of this. Let's just use the 2013. 2007, 2013 come forward. The last time you had that 60-40 arrangement was in 2007, and in fact that was for Kibaki because of Bungoma. Now let me come to the current situation, not ODM. He's right in saying it is 60% ODM, but don't forget it's not about ODM. It is NASA combined. The reason why Jubilee has really gone hard on Western is because of this. According to their math, they can't rely on the 2013 equation. They have to top it up. Where do you top it up from? Western becomes a target. How does it become a target? Break it down into the specific areas, Bungoma, Vihiga, Busia. And that's why you'd seen this. Before this week when NASA went in, it seems NASA had just taken it for granted and say Western is locked. But I think the number of times Jubilee went there, launching projects here, there, made them come back. And you could see their crowd and their kind of enthusiasm. So that tells you the Jubilee Brigade has this feeling that if we are to top up our votes, on top of what we got in 2013, Western is a target.
Okay. Do you want to challenge what Professor says? 60% ODM. But then again, Amani and Ford Kenya, what does that bring it to combined NASA?
I would give 85% NASA.
85%, Prof?
85.
It's kind of optimistic, eh? But there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. I think 85% is on the high side. If I was to agree with him a little bit, maybe 70. That's being generous. But
I'm trying to pick out where Jubilee can get the vote in Western.
The thing is, the times have changed. We have new dynamics. And this myth of imagining people are locked up, the kind of robots. So we are being told that the Luyas collectively are robots to be put in a particular basket, and they don't have a mind of their own to decide what is in the best interest.
And you don't believe that's true?
No, I don't believe that's true. A lot of people, yes, they will vote Raila and his ODM. That's true. No question about it. But also a lot of other people vote for the other candidates. Among the leading ones being Uhuru Kenyatta. So that will happen. And if you compare what happened in 2013 and now 2017, the things have changed. We have an erosion of claims. There was a time when whenever Raila spoke, you expected automatically people to just fall in line. Now it doesn't happen. That influence has been eroded. We have, like now, just imagine the number of complaints that have arisen because of the the men in black phenomenon. And we have all these people like the Busia. It's a big contention between Ojamong and Otuoma.
Yes.
Because of what? The men in black phenomenon. And that itself has eroded the influence of the leadership.
Okay.
Where that influence is going, I'm not sure where it is going. But
Mr. Kiptoo doesn't
it's
agree.
no
He's
longer-
shaking his head
A
very
quick
vigorously.
answer to that, Larry, two things. Western from 2013 was up for Jubilee. Did they work for it the last 4 years? Not at all. One thing, look at the inclusion in government. Do they feel part and parcel of the government? In
They
fact,
had Eugene Wamalwa front and center
came
today.
in 2015, late 2015. So the
They have
narrative
made a case for Mina Mohammed in the government.
No, but the Westerners won't see Amin as one of their own. In fact, that will be seen as either Upper Eastern or a clear
Why
point
is
is
that the
simple.
case?
Wait. A clear. There are two things. Elections are won, Ben, or like if you go to Western, what are the issues that will dictate who they vote for? Number one, do the Western Kenya vote bloc think that they are part and parcel of Jubilee? Not at all. To be specific, if you look at the two groups that competed in Western in 2013. It was a Amani Coalition and CORD. Now they are one. Importantly, there are small steps that Jubilee would have done and would have sold them off in Western. They were Buye case. That's a PR disaster. Launching over and over again and doesn't, in fact, the same thing doesn't start up the way it's supposed to. When you do roads and you launch the same road 4 or 5 times, that brings the question. That's why I think Western was for Jubilee.
That's
in
not
2013,
entirely
2014.
true. They didn't launch one road 4 or 5 times.
Look here, it's a fact that if they go back the same place, launch like in Bungoma, you see that has been their case, where they are asked, we've seen you coming here over and over again, but you're not seeing the next step. That's why I'm saying the 3-4 years was for Jubilee. At this last minute, can that change? I don't think so.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yes.
President Kenyatta today asked that Kaimosi be upgraded to a level 5 hospital. Deputy President William Ruto found 2.2 billion shillings to pay integrated IDPs, which President Kenyatta was just saying about a week or 2 ago that was not a problem because it was from the Grand Coalition. Do you think this is last-minute goodies to try and hoodwink the electorate?
Definitely, and that has been the culture since '92. So it's not a new phenomena. It always happens. Why do you forget in previous years? We were even used to be given districts. That district, a provincial or like a form of administration could be dished out.
Yes.
So it is nothing new, and the government of the day uses such to help them. That's why they always say an incumbency always has something powerful to offer, and that's what they offer.
Prof, is it using last-minute goodies by the government, offering IDPs? These are 7,600 different people, and which means there's families. So it's a lot of people when you look at them combined, upgrading hospitals, all these different things that are happening just literally 43 days to the election.
Well, there is always a political angle to everything. And yes, it can be perceived that way. But the president has been doing this for the last 4 years. He goes someplace, so we are reviving this. He goes someplace. The fact that some of them are being done now is just a coincidence, I would say, but a good coincidence politically for him. He's not complaining about it. But he has been consistent in doing these things. And sometimes it has not worked out very well, and sometimes it's worked very well. And I think today was brilliant. You know, and it seems to be, when you put them together, there is that, the Busia rally by ODM.
Yes.
And then
By NASA.
Is there such a thing?
They had a big crowd in Busia. I'm going to show you that video right now.
It was a big
No,
ODM.
Busia is a stronghold.
So, yeah, so, and then on the other side, you have now somebody doing development. Sure. So one is making noise, and the other one is delivering.
But that
the
falls
imagery,
flat.
the imagery, that's what I'm saying, the imagery is different. Now, people who are keen and are observing say, wait a minute, this man is delivering. The other one is just complaining, doing things. And the rally, I think they both sides managed to rouse a crowd. No question about it. They're getting big crowds. They're getting people excited. They're making promises, which is normal. And the question that comes down is which of the, not the parties, forget about the parties.
Individuals.
Which of the presidential candidates, Uhuru and Raila, as you go to the ballot box, whom do you feel comfortable with, trust to look after your interest? And that's the way people are going to vote.
And is that the direction of the entire...
A quick question, Larry, with all due respect to Prof. Do you want to say, for example, if you have an administration that has been in power for 5 years, when they come to a locality, which 4 years and 6 months they didn't do the same, as Larry, you said it so well, possibly a petition has been launched from the same area asking for a similar project, and the government consistently say we don't have the cash. Then a month or two to the election, the same is launched. Would you want to say that cannot prick the conscience of the same voter, however rural they are, to say, well, wait a minute, doesn't this just mean after the election, the same is rolled back? And the reason I'm making a case for Western is because of this. For Mumia Sugar, for example, they have had 4 years to do what's supposed to be done. That has backfired. So you can imagine if right now they put in, for example, another 5B or 10B. Don't you think people will say we've seen it over and over again? Importantly, if you launch a project right now in an area where 4 years they complain they haven't seen, don't you think even the voter would say, what took so long? I can take a very simple example. The integrated IDP issue. That has been the case 10 years. And you know, in fact, the question being raised against them, that's why I think it's a double-edged sword. It may be good in the sense that they are now doing, but the problem is the timing. Because the same IDPs would ask, the others were compensated not once, twice, as early as 2013. So what is different about us? That's why I'm thinking it will be wrong for you to assume that by virtue a project has been launched in a place 2, 3, 4 days before election, that changes, I doubt.
Let's talk about the manifestos, because we're expecting that in the weeks ahead, starting with tomorrow with Jubilee, and we're told that manifesto will focus very heavily on job creation, health, education, and food security. Why is it necessary to launch another manifesto for a government that's already in power? What are they promising now that they didn't have 1.5 years ago?
Well, let's say polishing up, fine-tuning, and maybe putting a more convincing argument. The Uhuru Kenyatta government has had challenges. There's no question about it. And I think they are smart enough not to deny that they've had challenges. And occasionally you listen to them, they will tell you, yes, we have had challenges here and here and here and here. And to deal with them, this is what we are doing, and we shall continue doing. So expecting this manifesto, saying we have done the following, we are going to improve and do better in this area and this area because there are these challenges, obstacles that we have came across. Now we have figured out how to deal with them. Okay. So the first thing is not to deny that there have been challenges. Yes, there have been challenges, and this is the way they are going to be handled. All right. So the manifesto will deal with that kind of angle.
Whatever the take home for our manifesto is pretty straightforward. One, it's a requirement in terms of it is an expectation. It is always each party does a manifesto, which for me doesn't count so much in the sense that either whether the same is followed and implemented, that's a different question.
Because NASA has a manifesto launch also coming up.
Sure. Importantly, for Jubilee, as he says, what I will agree with him is this: it is a question of getting it right, what they didn't get right. Two things. If you look at their manifesto, they move away from what they were doing in 2013. In 2013, they focused on infrastructure. That has not delivered and won the hearts of the people. So I think their focus right now, they are going for the welfare and the growth sectors.
How can you say that, though? Jubilee has been very proud of the railway they have built. They've been proud of the amount of roads they have built.
No, that is the infrastructure. And that's why I'm saying the challenge right now would be, yes, you've done the railway. How about the cost of living? That's why if you look at their manifesto, the focus shifts and says, let's go for health, let's go for
job creation.
Why? Because they are now looking at the areas they thought they neglected.